All right, hey guys, I am Nicholas. You can call me Nico.
And I'm Auburn, you can call me Abby, and I'm joining my dad here today.
So the first question is, why did you move to Thailand? And my first quick answer is the lifestyle upgrade. So a lot of people, I think, will say that the cost of living is going to be their reason that they come to Thailand, that they pay less for like eating out and things like that. Now, it is true that the cost of living is lower here. However, if you spend the basically equivalent, like we are as we moved from the United States to here, we saw a significant jump in our lifestyle. Like we went from living in a small 2-bedroom home in the United States and basically cooking every meal and having to do my own dishes and all that thing, those kinds of things. And now that we moved here, we live in a much nicer condo with a pool, a gym, and she gets to go to one of the best ballet schools in the city, and we get to eat out for every meal, no more doing dishes. So it wasn't really a cost of living reduction so much as it was a lifestyle improvement.
And it was all these like tiny things that you would never really think about. That was why we moved here.
Can you give an example of that?
So it's like you would never really consider doing the dishes as something that you would think as like a hassle. It's just a regular thing. But then now we don't have to do the dishes, and it makes life 100 times easier.
That's true, yeah. Yeah, just not having to do the dishes every day, especially when you have to do that several times a day for a couple people, it actually adds a lot of time throughout the day and just a lot of stress, and I just don't like doing it. So it's a nice, again, lifestyle improvement, even though not really the cost of living went down, but the lifestyle improvement really went up. So I think that's the big one. So the second question would be, what was the hardest part about preparing for the move? Do you have an answer for that?
I think the hardest part was making sure that we had everything packed and making sure we had enough room for everything to be packed.
Yeah. So we did pack quite a bit. We had, what, four bags that we checked in, and then 4 bags that we carried on as well. So it was like 8 bags total. It was a lot of bags, but we got everything here, thankfully. I would say the hardest part about preparing to move was getting the visas, actually. That was quite a struggle. We got the DTV visas. They last for 5 years, but you have to go through a process online where you have to submit a ton of documentation for them, and you have to be very on point with it. And then once I finally got my visa, which took, I think it was about a month to get mine, I then had to get hers as a dependent visa, so that took a lot of time too, and again, a lot of documentation and stuff. So that for me was probably the hardest part, but it just came down to the bureaucracy of it and just getting it done.
Yeah, I didn't have to deal with that, so I'm happy about that.
All right, so the third question would be, what are you most excited about living in Thailand? For me, it's the food. I just love the food here. It's so nice to go out for every meal and get something amazing. On the street that we live on, there are so many good restaurants. We haven't even tried them all yet, but literally day one, we found like our favorite restaurant just by walking in and just eating something. We found another great restaurant in the evening. Like, it was amazing. It was so easy to find great restaurants here.
Yeah, it was really easy, and the food is just so good every single night.
Yeah, so that's probably what I'm most excited about. Is there anything you're most excited about?
I'm really excited about being able to do a bunch of different activities and having so many things to do. Like, you'll never get bored in Bangkok.
Can you give an example of something we did 2 days ago?
Yeah, a couple days ago we went to like a rabbit cafe, but they're like, that's just one of so many different things that we can do here in Thailand.
Yeah, and they didn't just have rabbits, they also had guinea pigs, and they did all kinds of cool things with the guinea pigs. We saw a baby guinea pig, I think it was. It was like 1 day old. A baby hamster that was like 1 day old. It was really cute. And then there was also, a chinchilla too. Like, we could put the chinchilla on your head, and it was riding on my shoulder for a while. So
yeah,
that was really fun too. Just an example of something that you can do here that's like unique and new, kind of, What is the cost of living compared to where you used to live? So I'll probably take over on this question right here. Like I was saying in the first question, our cost of living hasn't really changed much as we moved from Michigan to here in Thailand. It's that our lifestyle significantly improved. So we're probably spending roughly the same. It's just, what are we spending more in and what are we spending less in? So for example, we spent a lot on groceries back in the United States, at least $500, $600 a month on groceries for the both of us. Here, it would be almost impossible to spend that much money on groceries. I can't even imagine how much food you would have if you spent $500 or $600 a month in Thailand on groceries. We don't even spend that much going out to eat for every single meal, because a lot of our meals are under $3, under $4. Sometimes we splurge and get like a big fish at a nice sit-down restaurant that's literally like cooking on hot coals, and what is it, like $9 or something like that.
Yeah.
So there's a huge reduction in the cost of living in terms of going out to eat, also in accommodation. Like we had a small 2-bedroom house in the United States. It was $800 a month. Here we're looking more at like $700, $725 for a 2-bedroom condo that includes 2 beautiful pools, a really nice gym, high-tech security, a ton of staff, a gorgeous garden. Like, it's a really good place to live. There's a 7-Eleven on the inside. It's really convenient. And so you just get so much more bang for your buck. So what are we actually spending more on? There's a few things that our categories go up. So for example, health insurance here can be a little bit more expensive. Say if you are living in the United States and you're either on Medicaid, or you get your premiums covered, for example, by Obamacare or something like that, you might have to end up paying a little bit more for health care here, especially if you have a family. So that is one thing where the category goes up a little bit. I honestly can't think of a single category, but I could try to look one up real quick to see exactly where we might be going over in our budget. So just give me a second here, because I have a little chart that I'm looking at. So probably her costs of things that I do for her too goes up a little bit, specifically because you have to pay for schooling here unless you send them to like a Thai public education facility or something like that, which would be kind of difficult without them knowing Thai, or just throwing them in there and expecting them to learn it. So she's going to school online, and that costs money, so it brings our education costs up. Again, like I said, she's dancing for one of the best schools here, so it does come at a premium price as well. I did mention health insurance. We probably pay a little bit more in transportation here, but that's because we live like really far out on their train line, and so each trip in either direction is about $3 there and back, so it's easy to spend $6 a day just transferring ourselves back and forth to downtown and back. And so that can add up a little bit quickly, a little bit faster than what it would in the United States, where I was just driving around in a small town. So that's something where you might see a little bit of increased costs, but other than that, everything else is lower. Housing, the bills are much lower here. Like, it'd be tough to spend over $100 a month here on air conditioning if you have 3 air conditioners running, plus electricity for everything else, plus your internet bill. It's really difficult to do that. It's usually more about $60 to $75 with all of that included. Back in the States, I was paying over $200 a month for stuff like that. So there's just differences, but what we see mainly is not a cost of living reduction, but it's actually a lifestyle improvement, and I think that's what's really important. What's something you've already noticed about Thai culture that you love?
I feel like I like how everybody's so friendly here. And when you're at a restaurant, they don't bug you so often, and they just give you your food, and then just move on.
Yeah, that is kind of interesting. It's like, being from the United States, everything's so service-based. So you go to the restaurant and everyone is like trying to refill your drink constantly and, working for the tip, you know what I mean? Here in Thailand, it's more like they just kind of drop off your food, take your order, and just leave you in peace mostly. They're not over there every 5 minutes, like interrupting your meal and seeing how things are. And we actually both kind of enjoy that aspect of it. It's just like, you can show up, just eat, you're left to eat in peace, and then you can, just pay for your meal and take off, So
Yeah.
it's actually kind of a nice aspect. Even though there are some places where it's really interesting. Thai people are really nice, but then there's some restaurants where there's like zero service at all. Like, they walk up, they barely even say hi. They'll just take your order, barely even say hi, drop off your food, barely even notice you when you're trying to pay. Like, and I actually kind of like it, like, even though it's not like positive and happy, go lucky all the time, it's still really cool. That you can just go in there and just, have a really good meal and not expect to have like great service, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because I still actually appreciate it, It's kind of like a no contact method, and I don't mind that because I'm kind of introverted, so. And something else I think I like about the Thai culture is the festivals. I'm really excited for Songkran, yeah, in April. Songkran is the greatest. You get to play with squirt guns and stuff like that. It's really cool. It's a cleansing festival. Water-based, so really, really fun. How are you planning to handle school, work, and activities? So I like to work early in the morning before she wakes up. I also like to get work done when she's at dance, and now we're trying this new thing here too, where we're working together. activities we do together. We talked about the Rabbit Cafe earlier. We also work out together. We go to the pool every morning, try to get there in the afternoons as well. So we do a lot of stuff together. But obviously, how do you handle school and other activities?
I'm homeschooling right now, so I do a little bit in the morning. Sometimes I do it in the afternoon, and then I finish that up. So it's pretty easy. It's just you just find places in between to get it done.
And what about other activities?
Other activities is just like dance, so we just schedule that in from our work, and usually that's like at the end of the day, or if it's on the weekends, it's in the middle of the day. So that just kind of gets worked into the schedule,
right,
and put times into it. And then we just have all of these different things that we just know when to do them.
I see you doing other things too, though. I see you like talking to your friends online or like writing sometimes. Like you do other things as well, don't you?
Yeah, but I just do those when I feel like it.
Okay. All right. So you like having a little bit of free time, but also a little bit of the structure that we have too, that we're going on. Yeah, it's a good combination. What are your top must-do adventures or experiences in Thailand? Do you have any that you've come up with, like must-do adventures or experiences in Thailand?
Oh, that's a hard one.
I know I want to go to Phuket for my birthday, so I just love Phuket. The south of Phuket is my favorite place, especially some of the beaches there, like Yanoi Beach, Nai Harn Beach, Kata, Karon. Those are the best beaches down there in Phuket. I love being down there in the south. How about you?
Something that I really think is popping up into my mind right now is a water park in Phuket that I feel like.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, a water park is definitely something that I want to go back to, because we did go to one like 2 years ago or something.
Manda, Phuket.
Yeah,
Yep.
and that was so much fun, and they actually had like good food, which was very surprising for a water park.
Yeah, and it was a lot of fun too. Some of the rides there are intense and scary, but they're also just a lot of fun too. But yeah, definitely looking forward to that. Looking forward to motorcycle rides. And there's a dog that lives in Phuket that we just absolutely love. He's a very grumpy dog. We named him Rusty. And he lives in front of a 7-Eleven, but we befriended him a long time ago, and we want to go see if he's still there and try to reignite our friendship with him. So hopefully we can find Rusty, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, we'll see. All right, that would be nice. What advice would you give to families who are thinking about moving abroad? My first advice would be, if you can, take a trip here and check it out. There's so many different places, like, you know, the islands in the south, Bangkok, you head to the north, Chiang Mai. There's lots of different environments and different styles and ways you can live here. So I would recommend making a trip here and kind of seeing them and checking them out for yourself, if that's possible. If not, you might want to research a little bit into the different lifestyles. For example, in Phuket, it's really cool because it's like a largely scooter and motorcycle based. You can ride around a lot and explore a lot of the island. There's a ton of different beaches and stuff like that, but it's a really big island, so it still has a lot of city amenities too, like really nice schools and hospitals and condos and things like that. So it's a great place to live. Then you could, you know, compare that with Bangkok, where you're not going to have the beaches, but there's great public transportation. You don't have to ride a motorcycle everywhere. You can take the BTS, the MRT, the trains work great here, taxis. There's all kinds of apps you can use, like Grab and InDrive and Uber and Bolt and things like that. So it's really easy to get around here. If you go to Chiang Mai, it's kind of a blend of the two. It's got a lot of the city, but you can still ride around on your scooter a lot really easily as compared to Bangkok, where even I don't like to ride a motorcycle necessarily because it's just a little bit crazy of a city. And Chiang Mai in some spots can get a little wild as well. Phuket's definitely much more relaxed, especially if you're in the south where we like to be, where it's just more of kind of like slower roads and stuff like that. So
I actually have something to add to this
go
question.
ahead, yeah.
I definitely think if you're going to move to Thailand, you should know how sound sensitive you are to like city noises.
Oh, yeah. Because Bangkok's a little noisy, right? Yeah, that's true. But you can find quiet places in Thailand too. Like people could live out in rural spots if they wanted to, or Phuket's really quiet, you know. And,
yeah, but sometimes it's loud in Phuket if you have like a really busy street next to you.
Yeah, possibly. Yeah, but it's definitely more chill there. What are you looking forward to sharing with your viewers as you start this new chapter? Well, this is kind of cool if we just start doing talking to you guys on the live stream. But also, what are you looking forward to sharing with your viewers as you start this new chapter?
Yeah, I'm just excited to be able to even be around anybody who's online, and I'm excited to get back into your channel.
I think I'm most excited to just share the lifestyle improvement. I think I keep coming back to that because I think it's really important to me, you know, instead of like sitting through 6 months of winter back in the United States where I'm just like frozen to death and miserable because it's dark from like 5 p.m. until like 9 a.m. and it's just so cold and gray. And you know, going from that half the year to being able to just be out in the sun, be in the pool, have nice warm weather, go out to eat, have good meals, like instead of having to cook all the time, like it's just such a change of pace on the day-to-day basis that it just feels a lot better, you know? Like I feel more relaxed. I feel like there's a little bit more freedom, you know?
Yeah.